Hi, Joni here. Putinist populism is on the rise, but it's not winning in Europe. That will be the topic of today's video. But before that, my campaign is still up and running. Let's finish it as soon as possible to get the 4 trucks to the 4 Ukrainian units that badly need them. As you know, I will be personally driving the trucks to Ukraine and giving them directly to the units. We have set up a website with more information about the fundraiser. That's where you can see the patches that you can get by donating €100 or more. And that's also where you can donate. Please share and donate if you can. And again, the link to the website is in the description of this video. Let's finish this. Thank you. Slava Ukraini. Now let's get to the video. Putinist populism is on the rise, but it's not winning in Europe. It has actually faced several losses in Europe. And despite the dramatic headlines, populism is not on the rise in every European country. But even if Putin's envoys have lost several recent elections, the danger still remains. And they're also likely to win some in the following years. There have been many recent examples, the most recent one being Romania's presidential election's second round, where Putin's candidate Simeon lost the election. Once again, it showed that despite the heavy disinformation campaigns and the huge number of Russian assets in Europe and the significant control they have over social media, they just tend to fail quite often. And there are many other examples as well. They failed in the UK in 2024, and they also failed in the French parliament elections in 2024. And the same goes for the 2025 German elections, and now also in Romania. Meanwhile, the Italian far-right government has failed to deliver on Putin's expectations. And we shouldn't forget Orban and Fico, 2 of Putin's most loyal lapdogs. They're both widely disrespected around the world, even in Russia. Russians know that they're traitors and don't trust them. And they're facing real problems in their countries and might lose their positions soon. Hungary has elections coming up and Orban is not leading in the polls. And the far right and far left are just not doing too well in polls in many European countries right now. The far right did poorly in recent Finnish local elections, and the fringe pro-Russian parties got even less votes than they used to get before. They got around 0.1% of the votes. And the bigger, less pro-Russian Finns party also didn't score too well. At the same time, in countries like Denmark, the far right hasn't been doing well in the last few years. And the Putinist part of the far left is also not doing too well in Europe right now. The BSV failed to stay in the parliament in Germany, and Mélenchon is not in the top 2 in the polls in the French presidential elections of 2027. However, despite the many good news, the 2027 elections in France will pose challenges. The Rassemblement National is one of Putin's key allies and it's leading the polls. And Mélenchon is still in the top 4 as another pro-Russian candidate. And it's good to remember that many of the other mainstream parties in France include some pro-Russian politicians in them. Fortunately, the French election is still 2 years away. There are many ways we can curb Putin's influence in Europe, but one of them is stronger regulation on social media. We need to limit Russia's disinformation campaigns. And we don't necessarily even need to censor or even moderate to do that. There are many ways to have more transparency and more accountability on social media through regulation. And on top of better regulation on social media, we need to make sure that Russia doesn't reach any of its objectives in Ukraine. Defeating Russia in Ukraine is one of the best ways to cut its influence in Europe. What do you think should be done? What other ways come to your mind? Should some of the traitors be banned from elections? Should we have tougher regulation on campaign financing? The issue with that is that Russia can find ways around it. I want to hear your takes on these issues. Write them in the comments. That was it for today's video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And please donate to the campaign if you can. Ukraine really needs it. And again, the website is in the description of this video. See you in the next video. Thank you. Slava Ukraini.